Hi everybody. So today I am in the mood for some cabbage and noodles. I don't know how many of you have eaten that, but it is such a comfort food to me. And so today I'm going to make those and show you how I do it. I'm not adding any meat to it today, but normally I would add some sort of sausage to it. But today is just totally a no meat kind of dish for me today. So I'll show you what I put in it. So I put egg noodles. I put onions. I have 2.5. I would put 3, but this one was in the fridge. So I'm going to put the onions. I'm going to put the 2 cups of noodles. And then probably 4 cups of diced up cabbage. And then you can add butter, you can add vegan butter, you can do whatever you want, but I have some bacon grease today and that makes it taste really super yummy. So I have my jar of bacon grease. So I'm going to use bacon grease and that'll give it a really nice flavor, and then just some salt and pepper and it will taste very good. So I didn't prepare anything. This was a last minute deal. So I'm just going to take you along for the whole thing. So I'm just going to start cutting up my onions, but I have a pot of water on the stove boiling so that I can make my egg noodles. If the whole family was living here, I would probably make the whole bag of egg noodles, but because it'll probably just be me eating it over the next few days, I'm just going to make the 2 cups of noodles, so I don't have tons and tons of leftovers. So I'll get started with the onions. So the cool part about this recipe is you don't have to worry about precisely dicing up things, or it's just kind of rough way to do things. It's a very quick and easy meal. If you live in an area where there's a lot of Slovenian, Polish food, stuff like that, you could go and buy some Slovenian sausage, and that would be extremely yummy with this. But I don't live in an area like that, and so I just have kind of what's available in the store. We have some meat markets, but nothing that is super yummy to me. So we're just going to make it meatless today. So I wanted to show you my apron. My friend Cindy made me this years and years ago, and we moved, and so I packed everything up and I thought I lost it. But the other day I found it hidden in a box that I was looking through, so I got so excited. And I washed it up and I ironed it, and I said, I'm going to wear this just in case my friend Cindy is watching. So this is for you, Cindy. Okay. So I'm going to measure these just for your sake in case you want to remake this meal. So I'm going to cut it in half. I just put like 4 slices in there, and then I'm going to just cut it 3 times. I want the pieces to be kind of big, so that they're kind of bite size. I don't want them to be, diced real fine. This is the way I like it. Well, I guess it's going to be more than a cup of onions, but whoops. Oh, what a mess. Ooh, these onions are strong. These are yellow cooking onions. I don't have any like Vidalias or sweet onions or anything like that. So I just noticed how my apron is sticking out like this. It's kind of funny. Oh well. Let's see if the water's ready. Almost. So I'm going to say that these onions equaled, I'd say about 1.5 cups or 1 3/4 cups of onions. I don't think you can have too many, so just keep that in mind. They just taste good no matter what. So I think I'm going to pause. I'm going to take you over to the stove, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to get the onions started, okay? Okay, so my water is boiling. I'm going to add maybe a tablespoon of salt to my water. And then I'm going to add the 2 cups of raw noodles, or dried noodles, I guess you could say. Whoops, I should be showing you, but everybody knows how to make noodles, I'm assuming. And then I'll cook these for probably about 10 minutes. And then drain them, and then they'll be ready to add to the dish when the cabbage and the onions are ready. So we'll just let that keep on boiling. And then over here, I'm going to heat up my pan, and I'm going to add my bacon grease to this. I'm going to start with maybe a tablespoon. Let's say a tablespoon and a half of bacon grease. We'll get that heated up. And I got my 1.5 cups, 1 3/4 cups of onions. I should have heated this pan up sooner. So today where we live, it is almost 70 degrees, and I'm so excited because it has been so extremely cold this winter. It's been in the negatives. It seems like it's been below freezing every day this winter. And so today I have my windows open. I have them open upstairs, downstairs. My curtains all opened up wide. I even went and sat on the porch this afternoon just for a little bit, picked up some garbage that was blew into my yard. So that was so nice. I told my daughter the only thing missing was if she was here and we could go for a walk. So one day. And my daughter, of course you already know from my previous videos, is having a baby, her and her husband. And so probably next time they visit, they'll have a baby with them and we could take the baby for a walk. So I just cannot wait for that. That will be so wonderful. Okay, so let me show you. So my bacon grease is all melted. Now I'm going to add the onions in there. Break them up as best you can. They'll obviously break apart as they get softer, but I'm just going to let that saute. And the way I like them is I like them to get nice and brown, very, very much cooked, because I think that adds a wonderful flavor. So, and our noodles have a little bit more time on them. I'll set the timer so I don't forget, and I'll come back and check them in like 7 minutes. So I'm going to pause this and we'll go back over and we'll cut up our cabbage. Okay, so I have a small head of green cabbage. I'm just going to cut this off, the stem of it. This is such a cheap meal that you can make for your family. Cut it in half. I used to make this at my house, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think my daughter really likes it. My husband's not a huge fan, and I'm not so sure about my son. So, but they used to eat it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut this in half again. So cut it into 4s. And I'm just going to cut it up. And you can pretty much do whatever kind of pieces you like, but I like bigger pieces of cabbage. I might just do a little mixture. Like these harder pieces in the middle, you really want to maybe chop those up a little bit more. I'm going to go stir my onions. They smell so good. Get the bacon grease. If you're not eating any kind of meat product, you can use a vegan butter to do your onions, and this would be a great vegan meal. If you don't eat dairy of any sort, you know, the vegan butter tastes really good, and you can use that. I think I might need to save that last piece of cabbage. I mean, I could put it in, of course. But you might want to have like equal amounts of cabbage and noodles. So I think I'm just going to save that, and I'll just cut it up for like a salad. Or just to eat. I like to eat raw cabbage with some salt sprinkled on it. You could dip it in ranch dressing. It's just really good. Good stuff to eat raw. So, alright. So we'll go back over here. I'll take you back over. The noodles are getting close to being done. I don't like them soggy, really super soft. Now the onions, let me show you. The onions are browning up really nice. I don't like them totally crispy, but I like them brown because it gives them a great flavor. So good. Let me get my my strainer for my noodles. Just keep on cooking these. Just a couple minutes. I'm probably going to add the cabbage. I'll be tasting the noodles pretty soon. I don't know. I may have should have done more noodles. We'll see. I guess a lot of noodles aren't good for you, as far as the white flour but all these onions. Do you see how yummy they're getting? Nice and brown. And then I will put my cabbage in. Get my topper for my pan. I need to measure this so that when I go to the thrift store, I can find a cover that fits it. Okay, these look really yummy. So, I think I'm going to add in the cabbage. And once you put the lid on, it starts steaming the the water out of it, and it makes it get pretty soft. Sorry. So I added the cabbage in. Taste the noodle and see where we're at with that. I'm going to cover this cabbage and onions. I'm going to taste the noodle. Ooh, nice and salty. Those are done. Pour these out. Sorry about that. I'm messing up a lot today, but put my bacon grease away. In the summertime, I like to have bacon grease available because I love bacon grease in pork and beans and baked beans. I did learn last year though, when I wasn't eating any sort of meat. Look what I did. I almost set my my pot holder on fire. Oh my goodness. So anyways, that you can make a really good baked bean with like pineapples, and it tastes so good, and put some liquid smoke in there, and it tastes delicious. So that is one way of eating your baked beans. It definitely cook good. I'm going to put some salt and pepper. And some salt. I'm going to cut up these harder pieces that I'm seeing in here. Just so it'll get tender as quickly as the softer. This one. Ooh, these are kind of hot. Ouch. Ooh. This looks so delicious. I'm going to cut these two pieces up. I guess I should have paid more attention to that when I was cutting them. That's okay. Got it now. Alright, I'm going to cover it up some more. Sorry about covering the camera again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this simmer in here until the cabbage gets nice and tender. I don't like it soggy, but a little bit of crunch in it. And then we'll add the noodles to it. So I'm going to hit pause until the noodles are done, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so this is cooking up really nicely. Let me show you. But the cabbage is starting to stick to the pan and it's not as tender as I want it yet. So I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here. And that was just to help with the to quicken up the process of getting the cabbage soft, and also to maybe get up some of that stuff, the yummy stuff that was on the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to let that cook for just a minute. I was thinking about if you don't want to use egg noodles in here because you're trying to stay away from carbs, you could even make this kind of like a cabbage stir fry. You could still use the bacon grease or butter, the onions, the cabbage. You could put carrots, shredded carrots or cut up carrots. You could add any kind of vegetables to this. Broccoli would be very, very healthy in here. You could even put some spinach or kale in here. You could add anything. You could add green beans. Any kind of vegetables would make it taste really yummy. Maybe some green peppers or red peppers. So you could substitute the noodles with some other things that are healthy. I am not a person that enjoys a whole wheat pasta, but if you do, you could put that in there. So this pasta didn't make quite 4 cups like I thought. It made 3 cups, but that's okay. I probably shouldn't be having a lot of pasta anyway, so not that that's a whole meal for me, but so I'm going to check on this again. That's looking really good. So I think I'm going to put the noodles in here. I'm going to try to scrape up a bunch of the stuff on the bottom. I should probably show you what I'm doing. Just see all this stuff on the bottom here. I'm just trying to scrape that up. Okay, so I'm going to pour my noodles in. Break those apart. And get those coated up in there. Oh, this looks so delicious. I haven't had this in a very long time. It's one of those things that, for me, I don't want to substitute anything because the way it is brings me comfort. So I didn't want to substitute the bacon grease when I was eating vegan. I didn't want to substitute the noodles, but you can. It's just a personal choice for me. So I'm going to let this simmer together for, I don't know, maybe just a few more minutes. Let me show you. Doesn't it look delicious? I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to clean up my dirty dishes, and then I'll bring you back and show you what it tastes like. Okay, it's done. So this is what I call noodles and cabbage. And of course it has onions in it. And bacon grease, salt and pepper. It's very, very simple. So I'm going to get a plate. I'm going to scoop some out. And then we'll have a taste test. Alright, so this is cabbage and noodles made with egg noodles, green cabbage, onions, salt and pepper, and bacon grease. So delicious and very comforting. A very inexpensive meal to feed your family. This would be really good paired with some macaroni and cheese, which is also cheap to make. Either, I don't know, I've never made homemade mac and cheese. That's one of the things I need to do, but you know, a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese and some of this, or you could, you know, you could put in here, you could cut up some hot dogs and fry hot dogs and put those in there. That's also very cheap. But any way you want to eat it, it is delicious. So I would highly recommend it, and I hope you give it a try. And if you do, let me know.